Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Tawana. Today we're going to do a reading for Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs. It can resonate for you if you have any of those placements, and I will be using the Sacred Rebels Oracle deck as well as the Tarot and the Angel Answers Oracle deck. Please excuse me, I've been having just the most inconvenient allergy attack. So if I sneeze on camera, that is why, or if I sound a little bit stuffy, that's why. There's also a storm going on outside, which I don't know if you guys can hear the thunder, but I just felt like this was the perfect time to do the reading. I've been going with how I feel and how I am moved to communicate these messages lately, and I definitely felt moved to today. And I'm kind of happy that I did, because I'm a Taurus sun and I'm already seeing some things that could be messages for me. So I'm just, happy to be here. Let's go. All right. So first card we have, guys, is Going Beyond Normal, which is wild to me because I have a couple Taurus placements in my own life. I have a Taurus rising, I have a Taurus sun around me. No, I have multiple Taurus suns around me. I have a Taurus moon around me, and it's been so interesting to see what's been happening in the collective of Taurus recently, or even just this year in general. And I really feel like we're in the middle of a Venus retrograde right now. So we're being a little challenged to rethink in different aspects of our life. But I felt like Tauruses are making these huge reflective moves that are only enhancing their lives more, and sometimes that ostracizes them from the original groups that they form their identities with. So like, let's just say you have a strong Taurus placement and a couple of people have known you to be this way for 5 to 10 years of your life. And then you all of a sudden go into a spiritual awakening or go into some kind of self-healing journey or something, and you start to see yourself differently. And then it's now about coming back to that group and how that group reacts to you and your changes. So this is what I'm feeling a lot for this card. I feel like a lot of you may be going through those shifts internally and then having to like re-enter spaces that you've once occupied and navigate those relationships based on a newer version of you that isn't necessarily normal anymore compared to what that group considers normal. So that's what this card talks about. This card talks about becoming okay with living outside of the fringes, living outside of the construct of what is normal to your culture, to your family, to your friendship circle, to your networks, to whatever groups and like spaces you occupy. Being okay with being the other, being outside of that, living more unconventionally compared to what you have experienced or the people around you or what the people around you are experiencing. Being okay with that. That's what this card's talking about. So for the collective that I'm reading for, this includes a lot of Tauruses that are doing things differently, doing things out of the box, challenging the status quo in their own ways, reinventing themselves, branching off from the group that they have had in certain ways. Not to say that you're cutting people off, but you are now individuating into what normal is for you versus what normal is for them. Okay. We also have New Birth Guided Vigilantly, which I usually read the cards like this. 1 row, 2 row, 3 rows. But for your reading, for some reason, I feel like reading the cards like this. So I'm going to go with it. Like, I feel like reading the oracles this way and then reading the tarot like this way, almost like it's a like trying to, like the cards are like trying to tell me a story and they're directing me on how the story connects. So we're gonna go with it. So second oracle card we have is new birth guarded vigilantly. Now this ties into even more of this. For some of you, this new birth that you're guarding vigilantly is going to be a new birth of self, a new identity, a new version of you that may be somewhat sensitive to criticism. It may be sensitive to not knowing how to handle the projections at first, not knowing how to handle the feedback at first, not knowing how to handle, just not knowing how to deal with everything else that comes with the new embodied version of self, new embodied version of you. Others of you, this is going to be some kind of new birth that is happening in some space in your life that you are guarding, because with this newness comes a new like you, comes a new identity, comes a new version of who you imagine yourself to be, which continues to evolve. Some of you may be having children. Others of you may be entering a new life phase. Some of you will be getting married. Some of you are going single. Some of you, whatever the new birth is in your life. We also have the Empress, which is you, but makes me feel like you're in a very bountiful space, like you're entering the creation of something, which is what Empress energy is about, being so abundant and being able to birth new realities, new beginnings, children. Just, you are pregnant with possibilities. Okay, so there's something about you and being able to protect this new version of you, protect whatever new thing you're stepping into, or maybe to protect yourself while you're making this entrance into a new space, because maybe people don't know how to meet you yet. Maybe people don't fully understand you yet. Maybe people are meeting you in less than uplifting ways. And that's their stuff. We're not going to go into anybody else's stuff. We're just going to stay centered on you. And then last card we have is big, bold vision. It's almost like you need to dare to be different. You need to dare to be different and to protect that as much as possible, to protect that individuality and that difference, despite how people react to it or what you have to deal with as a result of this difference. You need to guard it, guard this new aspect of self to birth a new vision. Whether that new vision is you want to create something in your life, you have a specific idea of a career you want to create, or maybe you want to create a family, or maybe you want to create like just a new identity, or whatever your big bold vision is to you. It feels like you go through this process, and now I understand why the cards are calling me to read it this way. You go through this process of branching out and going beyond what is normal for the group and finding what is normal for you, and daring to hold that energetic pattern, that energetic signature, that identity, being able to hold that, guard yourself. Maybe, and this may be a time when you like isolate from others, or you separate yourself from others, or whatever this guarded vigilantly looks like for you. It just feels like you're in a very insular, protective space for yourself. And you're doing that to be able to birth this vision that you have, which is very much achievable. And maybe you see that, but others don't yet. Like, you're able to hold a vision, but they can't see what you see, which is why you need to guard whatever you're guarding vigilantly. Okay, now we're going to go into the tarot. We start with the King of Pentacles, and we have the King of Pentacles clarified by the Two of Pentacles, which the King of Pentacles is you, whether you are masculine or feminine watching this. This is the energy of Taurus. And then right beside that, we have the King of Swords, clarified by this Two of Wands. And then we have the Six of Cups, the Justice card, and the Five of Swords. So this may be you and somebody else. This King of Swords, let's just say, is somebody else that you're dealing with. For some of you, this is going to be an aspect of yourself. It feels like you're dealing with relationships, like we said in the beginning, guarding yourself vigilantly and guarding like whatever new identity or timeline you're stepping into, and dealing with the Six of Cups, your past. Dealing with your past, whether you're dealing with a specific relationship in August or the coming weeks that reminds you of who you used to be or things that you used to do or beliefs and ideas that you used to have. It's almost like you're coming up on a conflict with either someone. If this King of Swords is someone else, you're coming up in a conflict with someone else, and based on your level of perception at this point, it's navigating that conflict to hold space for yourself, but also to hold space for others. Maybe you're trying to preserve a relationship, or maybe you're trying to work with light. If you notice, like this lady has a light bulb at the top of her head, it signifies enlightenment. And maybe you're trying to work with that enlightenment in your relationships and honoring yourself, and also honoring the path and the timing that others are on. And maybe you're like butting heads with a particular person. Maybe these are two masculine energies, for example, but this won't be the example that all of you are going through in August. But let's just say, for example, this is you, Taurus, and you are juggling realities, juggling perspectives with this Two of Pentacles. And you're dealing with a King of Swords who may have their ideas or their plans and pathways that they want to follow. Or if you notice, this person is seeing something through their eyes only. Like they're making decisions and seeing things with the world in the palm of their hands, but they're seeing just through their eyes only. So this person may have their own like unique perspective on things. And maybe based on like that, like you guys are butting heads with this person, you may have conflict with somebody, and it's almost being able to, like, you're not in a space where you're angry with this King of Swords, because you understand and you're able to hold those multiple realities. So you're able to see what this person is going through and also honor what you are going through, knowing that at this point of your journey, it's not necessarily about who is right or wrong, but how you both individually see things, if that makes sense. Now, others of you, this King of Swords is going to be an aspect of yourself. So it may not even be an actual like person who you're having a huge significant like thing with, like conflict or argument or fight or strife or whatever this Five of Swords represents for you. Maybe it's not necessarily a person, but it's your inner King of Swords that is able to logically and objectively see and cut through what is happening in a conflict, to know now that it's not necessarily about sides anymore. Justice card, it's about honoring the truth of each individual wherever that individual is, and that is a very different way to navigate life and navigate relationships compared to where you were previously. I hope that makes sense. But it feels like you can't relate anymore, Taurus. It's like you almost can't relate to a person or some people around you. And because you're in this space of you can't relate anymore, it's causing a clash. Like it's causing a conflict with other people who you may have dealt with. Because this is soulmate contracts, like relationships that have a lot of memories, have deep memories. All of these Six Cups are full. So somebody who you may love deeply, but you're just not vibing with right now. All right, going into this row, we have and And this may even come down to just like communication, like how somebody speaks to you. This King of Swords, or the things that the somebody says, like this King of Swords may be like, sometimes this King of Swords in the shadow may be brash, maybe a little bit harsh. And for you, Taurus, maybe the energy of that is just not jiving well with you. It could be something as simple as that, like the way we both communicate is not meshing up anymore. And I can understand where you're coming from, but I no longer vibe like that. I no longer speak to people like that. I no longer expect to be spoken to in that way, or I no longer share those same beliefs. So I can see where you're coming from, but I can see where you're coming from, but I also know that it just doesn't resonate with me anymore. That's what this could be. All right, moving into the Five of Pentacles and the Seven of Pentacles. Now, we have the Seven of Pentacles here, and it's clarified by the Five, which tells me that you're in this state of, you've invested a lot. You've invested a lot in something, someone. It's clarified by the Five, so it makes me feel like whatever this investment is, if this is a relationship or whatever, and we're going to get to that, it's like you're coming from the Fives and you're going to the Sevens. So maybe you felt like you've built something up. Like for some of you, this could be from a time when you didn't have much to now you're in a better place, and you're able to have 7 out of 10 pentacles. You're not at the 10 of pentacles yet, but you've invested a lot. Some of you, this is going through hard times and getting to better times with maybe a person that you've had in your life. And some of you, this is just an investment into something tangible and physical, like for example, a business or a home or something like that. Like you remember the days when this was probably just an idea or a dream, and now this is like an actual thing that you're putting work into, and your emotions are invested in it because you've put so much into it. We have the Queen of Cups and the Queen of Wands here. That's funny. We have 2 kings and 2 queens and the Empress. I'm not going to count the 9 of Pentacles because I don't feel like this is a person. I feel like this is representing something else. All right, so we have the Queen of Cups here. Your emotions are deeply invested in something. For some of you, this is going to be something like, it's going to follow this space. It could be a particular relationship. Let's just say it's a long time friendship that you've had, long time person or in connection that you've nurtured and endured a lot together, from days when you're going from nothing to now you feel like you may have something. And being able to me, this feels like you're not trying to lose anything. I'm not trying to lose this relationship. I'm not trying to lose this business that I've invested so much in. I'm not trying to lose this home that I've invested so much in. I'm not trying to lose anything. I've invested so much. And when I look at the work it took to get here, I am not willing to lose anything. I don't know what it is you guys are working on in August, but this feels tangible because we have the 7 of Pentacles, 5 of Pentacles, 10 of Pentacles. And I've been trying to like put it to the relationship aspect of things, but I feel like this is another message. So if those of you are working on some kind of like idea or business project or something, it feels like you're coming out of the phase of maybe feeling like you didn't have a lot to now you are in this space of you have stuff, but you're wondering, when am I going to get from the 7 of Pentacles to the 10? When are you going to complete something, and the work that it takes and involves to complete that project, to complete that house, to complete that business. It feels like it takes a lot of like physical endurance too. Maybe you are doing something physically with your hands or with actual like manual labor, but your emotions are invested a lot into something that you're doing in August. And I see you achieving the 10 of Pentacles, but just having to be really realistic about the hard work it takes to get there. And maybe New Birth Guarded Vigilantly was about this thing that you're working on. And guarding whatever this is until it gets to its point of completion. Spirit, what's the advice for New Birth Guided Vigilantly? What's the advice for Taurus with New Birth Guided Vigilantly? It's up to you. Yeah, so something that you are doing, it's achievable and it's doable. It just takes a lot of physical effort and labor. But I see you getting to the 10. I see you achieving whatever this is. I see you completing whatever this is. Spirit, what's the advice for Taurus with going beyond normal? Going beyond normal, please. Listen to your intuition. On top of the going beyond normal card, it almost feels to me like you know the way through this. It's intuitively. All right, so Taurus, you're, and some of you, this might look like leaving somewhere to go somewhere else to work on something. Or maybe you had to leave some things behind, but now you're in a phase of feeling like, you know what, I actually feel like I have my feet on the ground again. And wondering, how long is it going to take to actually, whatever the goal is, to arrive at that goal. I see you arriving at that goal, or being one step closer to that goal in the month of August, or in the next couple of weeks. Maybe you don't realize how close you are to the 10 of Pentacles, but it literally feels like you're going through the last push. You're going through the last push of something. All you need are 3 more Pentacles. You have the 5, you went to the 7, and at the end we have the 10. All you have to do is go through the last push, which is probably why you're guarding something vigilantly. All right, we're going to go over to this last section here. We have the 5 of Cups and the 9 of Pentacles. So feeling at a loss about some form of financial independence or finances in general. Then we have the Wheel of Fortune and the Empress, the 2 of Cups, the Moon, and the 8 of Wands. Taurus, if you're building a big, bold vision, I need you to know that some of these, it includes some losses. It's going to include some losses, and you're going to just have to chalk that up to the experience that you're having and the journey that you're on. If anybody needs to hear that. Disappointments while you're building a big, bold vision are completely normal. If you talk to any business owner, if you talk to any person who has a long-term relationship, if you talk to anyone who has a successful family or marriage, if you talk to anyone who has encountered any version of success in this lifetime, they will tell you that it included some losses and some disappointing times. It feels like going through this birth, like going through this birth and this new beginning of abundance, like the Wheel of Fortune changing in your favor after experiencing financial loss, the loss of your independence, loss of a person. It just feels like you're you're like shifting into this space, and it took a lot to get here, but you're shifting into this reality of you lost a lot, but you're so bountiful and you're so pregnant with possibilities and you're so abundant right now. And I hope you realize that. And maybe this is about relationships for you. Maybe you've lost a relationship with someone in the past, and you're in the stage of like rebuilding something. And this month is about reflecting on the vision that you had of that loss, and almost not letting that disappoint you in whatever you are creating next. This talks about taking action towards fast action, even in the midst of uncertainty, towards relationships, friendships, intimate relationships, whatever it is. Coming together with someone or with people, or birthing this phase of coming together with people and being able to trust that despite what you have lost in the past. Maintaining this big, bold vision and being daring enough to believe that you can have what your heart desires, or whatever this vision is to you, even though you've endured losses, even though you've experienced things that were disappointing. Because this is also you, Taurus. The Nine of Pentacles is also you. I don't know what this loss was. If this loss, it's going to be relationships for some of you. Some of you have lost money in the pursuit of building up a business. Some of you have lost a physical person. Like, whatever the loss is, it feels like in August you are being dared to maintain and hold the vision despite what it is that you lost, who left, who you left. There's still a vision that is bigger than all of this. Let's get some advice. Clarify the big bold vision. What's the advice for Taurus with big bold vision, Spirit? Not the right time. So whatever it is that you lost, it feels like it's not that you were denied. It's just, it probably wasn't the right time for you. All of this vision that you've had that maybe hasn't been being realized in the way that you've wanted it to, it probably just wasn't the right timing, but that does not mean that it can't ever be. You know, it feels like the timing of things is what you should consider, but not killing the entire vision of the things. Maybe a relationship didn't come together the way you wanted it to, but it may have not been the right time. Doesn't mean that there won't be other relationships. Doesn't mean that maybe even this relationship won't come back around another time when the timing is right. For some of you, this is a tendency to not want to take action towards relationships based on an idea of like a vision you had in the past, and that vision ending up being really disappointing to you. So just focusing and centering in on that disappointment to possibly avoid ever feeling that again. It feels like whatever the timing is, it's changing. And I feel like you are intuitive enough to understand that that is not something to take personally. It feels like you're going through a new birth based on things that you have lost and having to hold space for your belief again. I'm going to pull a few more. Spirit, what's the closing advice for Taurus in August 2023? What else do you want Taurus to know in August 2023? Angels, what do you want Taurus to know in August 2023? Feels like you can create other things, Taurus. You're the Empress. The Empress is going to continue to create birth new possibilities, birth new realities. She's gonna continue to be the Empress. What's the advice for Taurus? I love this. There's something better. Advice for Taurus. Get more information, and one more, and take action. There is something better. Wait until you get more information to take action on it. I'm gonna leave you guys here because that's a perfect way to end this entire reading. So Taurus, whatever spilt milk you are centering on, there's something better, and you'll find out really soon what that is. I'm going to leave you guys here. As always, thank you so much for watching and all the ways that you support this channel. Bye.